Welcome to Learning Plan 3, Day 3 and Day 4 of your internship. Day 3 of your internship is September 16th, 2015, and Day 4 is September 17th. The first task in Day 3 is based on risk management. What you'll be doing is creating 2 disclosure authorization forms for patients. Basically what those are allows you get a signature from the patient, and it allows them to potentially share information with other family members or whoever they choose to provide on that documentation. You'll also be creating an incident report. It does say that a patient fell in the office, and basically this is just documentation of the incident. So you'll be creating 3 different documents in this first task. These documents are going to be created through that form repository. Once they're created, they're linked to a patient, and then you'll need to go into the patient demographics, and at the bottom of their demographics is where all of the documentation that you have linked to those patients can be found, and that's where you can click on it and create the PDF to submit for your assignments. In task number 2, you're creating a referral form for a patient. Again, you'll go into that form repository, create the form, and then you'll need to go into the patient's demographics to find and print that for your submission in Blackboard. In task number 3, you are creating a letter for a patient that missed an appointment. In task number 4, you will be preparing a bill and posting to the ledger. So in task 4, what you'll be doing is going into a new section of SimChart that you hadn't been in before, which is coding and billing, found toward the top left of your screen. You'll notice the information panel has changed slightly. You have Superbill, Ledger, and so on. Your instructions are very detailed here, so you'll be going through, and you are given some screenshots of what you should encounter. One thing I am going to tell you is on page 43 for task 4, in that gray box, it's very, very important that you read that information. Everything you need to know about AMA is provided there. As you turn into page 44 and you go through that section, it does go through and ask you to set up your fee schedule and look at your fee schedule for what today's office visit cost. And again, you're coming in, remember, if you've read all of those instructions, she came in for an office visit. So I'm going to give you a hint on this first one when you look at that fee schedule. If you scroll down, office visit, it was a problem-focused situation. The code is 99212. I'm going to give you a hint for this one. And the cost was $32. So make sure you were able to find that. Make sure you put in the ICD codes. And make sure that you do verify that the signature is on file. So make sure you read through every section of that screen and select everything that you need to. After you submit the super bill, then you'll go into the ledger and you'll add that information in there and submit that document as well. So you'll be submitting the super bill for AMA and the ledger screen print. And the last task for day 3 is completing an insurance claim. Again, the instructions are provided to you there. Make sure you read through the instructions in detail for the information. It's right there for you, but if you don't read it, it may be difficult for you to fill out that claim. On day 4 in task 1, you will be sending emails to patients regarding test results. To send the email messages, you will click on correspondence in the menu above the calendar. Along the left side of the correspondence window, you will find in the information panel the different types of email messages that you can send. You will select normal test results. You will then need to do a patient search for each of the patients that are outlined in your instructions. One other thing I do want to mention is if you look in your textbook on page 49, step number 3 tells you to retrieve a data file, task 4.4. You're actually going to be retrieving task 4.1. You can get that through Evolve, but it is also provided to you in Blackboard. So the correct file is attached to this assignment in Blackboard. In task number 2, you will be listening to some telephone messages that your office received. The messages are provided to you in Blackboard in an MP3 file, so you can download and listen to those messages. You will need to process those phone messages through Evolve in SimChart, and then you will need to document or process each of the requests of each of the patients. So you'll be providing all of that information back to me in those files. There are several files listed in Blackboard of what you'll need to submit. In task number 3, you will be scheduling 3 new patients, and then you will also need to generate the appropriate forms for each one of those patients. If you've already taken an opportunity to look in Blackboard, you'll notice that I've broken this task into the individual patients that you'll be working with in this task. So look at, you've got Adams, Carter, and Taylor. You'll be submitting, I believe there's 6 different documents that are listed in each of the assignments. You have the appointment that you're going to need to print to provide proof that you did that. You need to create the patient demographics. You have the new patient welcome letter, and then you have the privacy Bill of Rights and the release form that you need to create for each of those new patients. So because there are so many documents for each patient, I've broken it into 3 individuals. If you have any questions on that, let me know. In task 4, you will be processing some documentation that your office received in the mail today. Those reports and the record are all provided to you in Blackboard under task 4. So you can download those, and then you will be uploading them to each of the referenced patients. As you go into SimChart to process this documentation, you'll be going into a different section. You'll be going into the clinical care area. To access these patient records, first of all, what you'll need to do is click on Find Patient to access those patients. You will then select the designated area that you need to complete each of these assignments for the task. For example, you'll be uploading the lab report, an operative report, and an immunization record. So you'll be selecting that. There is an error on page 56 of your textbook when you are working with the immunization record. Step number 2 tells you to enter the health record by clicking on the encounter. The word encounter should actually be the record. If you look at the screen here on the right side, you'll see that it says record. It does not say encounter. That will give you a drop-down list of options to select. In task number 5, you will be processing a prior authorization request for a patient. So you'll need to complete that form in SimChart, and that is what you will be submitting in Blackboard. If you have any questions about this learning plan or any other content within this course, please do not hesitate to call or email me.